from you is what is the strategy, Chelsea's strategy in this transfer window, because you are selling and you are buying. Do you think this is healthy for the club, or you just want to do an overhaul and start over again?
Actually, if you listen to the interview of our current acting captain, Reese and Chilwell, during the Premier League Summer League, they said last season was a bad season because we had a lot of players who were not really willing to play for. They were not willing to stay at Chelsea. So, and then when you looked at what we had in terms of our squad, the squad was just huge. It is headed for any kind of manager to manage that squad. So, I think what Pochettino came and they agreed with the management is let whoever who wants to go, let them go, and let us now rebuild. Actually, I'm so glad that we really released all the likes of Mount Havertz. We were so lucky to cash in very nicely. We played nicely, and you guys uh, played well enough with Manu. The amount of money that we got from Harvard's account was really nice. Nice business from our side. And then we had a lot of depth in the likes of Auba, Pulisic, Ziyech, all that are not in the Chelsea plan currently. So it is very nice. We have released good business. I think we are almost 300, if we are not past 300 in terms of the sales. Then, if you see what we are doing in terms of purchases, we are not buying players who are already fast 11 or very expensive players, except for Caicedo. If you look at what we are buying, we're really buying a lot of under 21s who are coming and going straight to loans. Currently, now we have a sister club in Strasbourg. So we are sending a lot of players. I think we are bringing 3 or 4 to Strasbourg, and we have many players, young kids who are going out on loan. So if you look at the guys whom we have bought, who are going to the first 11, Sassi, uh, uh, who else? Jackson and Okuko. Those are the first 11 whom we are having currently who are going to the first 11. If you look in the likes of Sade, he's probably going to loan. The likes of Angelo is going to loan. So ideally, we have both, and I think what Chelsea are doing is a business model where they're buying under 21, a lot of Brazilians who are they're going to build by sending them to loans and giving them time, and I think to cash out. That is my analysis.
Are you
In terms
expecting to compete this season then, if that is the situation?
Of course, they're going to compete this season. If you look at what we have in terms of our squad, the squad is very well. And once we only lack a partner for Enzo in the midfield. Otherwise, going forward, we have very good squad in terms depth from the defense. Midfield, it's only where we are lacking the partner of Enzo, and our formation is to go for competition for top 4. But I can't say we are competitors in terms of the league, but we are in for top 4.
Okay, Gilbert, you have a question for James? We can still. I think we have your headphones have some.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Yes.
You are off again. Off again. I think the connection with your jack is kind of losing away.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you can hear
Yes, you are now.
Yes, I'm saying your fullbacks are always on the injury table. Chilwell and James can rarely string together 20 games on the trot. Don't you think that that is a concern going into the new season, given that you've not bought adequate cover for those 2 positions? and
Actually, this is
your captain is gone.
actually, if you look at what we did this season, we did a backup for Reece James. If you watched in our preseason, actually, guys are asking now. Guys are starting to ask the questions like, whom do you want to start? Do you want Reece James to start or his backup? We have a very good. What is his name? I've even forgotten his name. We have a guy we bought last season, but we kept in at his League One club until the end of the season. But now he's back. And then for Chilwell, we have his backup in terms of Cucurella. So we have in terms of fullbacks.
All right. So with that, I just want us to get into the prediction because we are already past the 1 hour mark. I know we started late. We have had some issues, technical issues, but we can wind it there. So uh, I want you guys to give me your top four, your top four prediction this season, this coming season. Who do you think is gonna make top four? Or you can go, you can stretch it further to top six if you can. I start with Gilbert.
Top four, number one, Manchester United. I told you if what I'm thinking, if Greenwood gets incorporated back into the fold, if Greenwood gets incorporated back into the fold, I think we can challenge
But he has not played
Manchester
for a
City.
long time. Do you think he's coming in and
Uh,
he's
yeah,
much
I know he
ready?
doesn't. Yeah, that's the concern. But he'll chip in with the goals. You know what we struggled last season was the goals outlay. If
Uh-huh.
we had a good centre forward, I think we could have chased the top three at a much more respectable way than we did
Uh-huh.
last season. So I think if Greenwood gets incorporated back to the fold, I think we can challenge Manchester City for the title. Number two, I have Arsenal. They've not lost a huge chunk of their players in comparison to Manchester City. Manchester City have lost dependable players, players who changed their matches, players who contributed immensely to them winning the treble. I'm talking about Gundogan and I'm talking about Mahrez. And possibly there's one player who will leave to Barcelona. I don't know if that will work or not. But my point is they've weakened and not strengthened. Most of their core players have left. So this season, I think they'll struggle a lot because mostly it's the mentality. If you've won everything on the table, how do you motivate as a coach, or are the players motivated enough to go again to challenge for those titles? So number two, I have Arsenal. Number three, I have Manchester City, and number four, I have Newcastle United.
Wow. Number five.
Yes. Number five, Chelsea. Number six, Liverpool.
Oh, great. Okay. Let me
Yes.
go. Let me go. Number one, I think is gonna be Manchester City again. I know
They
we'll
can't
push.
win the league for four times in a row, Bana. That will be sacrilege.
Now we are stating we are
I
stating
think
facts.
I think all top four clubs or all top clubs in England right now should do whatever is possible that they don't
To stop
win
them.
that trophy for the fourth season in a row, because if that happens, England risks being a dull league like the Bundesliga, whereby
A
it's
farmers
just
league.
yes, it's just a wedding ceremony for Bayern Munich to win the league. They've won it 10 in a row. So I
Yeah,
think all clubs and the fans should also push their clubs to dethrone Manchester City.
yeah.
So
That's actually the
I was hoping
expectation.
to see an Arsenal for you as a number one.
Yeah, but with the thing with Manchester City, they have the players and they have the manager. When you look at Pep can twist uh, within even a single game, he can twist play, and he has solutions to every problem. Comparing him to with Arteta, who is not a bad coach, but experience-wise, you cannot compare the two. So they have an edge on having the squad, the talent, and the manager. While we have the squad, not as good as Manchester City, but the manager sometimes can make mistakes and cost us points. So with that, I know maybe we can improve on the number of point tally, maybe from where we finish from 84 maybe to 90. That one we narrow the gap between us and them. But I do think we come second. I think Liverpool gonna be number 3, and then Manchester United number 4. I don't know why, because I look at Manchester United. I I lean more to Manchester United because I almost became a Manchester United fan. I don't know what happened, because I remember I had Manchester United t-shirts before I had an Arsenal one. But one thing I really look at from the opponent side, from the opposition side, when I look at Manchester United, it's like the mentality is there. You could see what Ten Hag is trying to do, but does he have the players to carry on performing throughout the season? The the striking role we talked about. Mason Mount has not, Mason Greenwood has not played for a very long time. If he comes in, he needs time, because you don't expect him to be that much sharp again. We have over dependence on Marcus Rashford. When he came in, Manchester United really racked some points and they looked like a proper team. When the goals dried up, you could see Manchester United struggle. They go to Spain, they get battered. It was a mix. It was a mixed season for Manchester United, though the point that you got from a few games that you were in a really good form, they pushed you all the way until up to the end of the season. So until you get proper players, like you get a proper striker, Holland, the new guy, I do think is a good guy, but he will need some time. Manchester
Yeah,
United
true.
is not going to be an Everton where you'll be given opportunities here and there. The expectation is too huge, and that is high level football. You have to perform, so you need a proper striker, so that when Holland comes in, he just he, he just is in. Maybe in the coming season he's able to get his bearing. But for now, I do not think, unless you're going for Kane or you are going for another top striker. But
Just,
that's,
just just a quick question.
yes,
If we had gotten Hurricane, where would you put us in the top 4?
Harry Kane would easily win you 18 points on his own. 18 points clear, he will win you. So add 18 points to your 75. That takes you to around 90, 93. Now 93 is either position 1 or position 2 at the
Yeah,
least.
that's true.
Yeah, so I do fear about that. And then I said Liverpool, Manchester United, and then I'm not sure about Newcastle, because they did well last time. But there is this second season syndrome. Nobody expected Newcastle United to be there. So now many teams know what Newcastle United are, are capable of, and they know their kind of play. So that's why the likes of Manchester
They, they,
City.
al- they, they also have Champions League to play, and they've not really. I expected them to go big in the transfer market this season, given that they have new owners from the east, from the Middle East, and I've not really seen that happen, because playing the Champions League and all the rigors of the Premier League, I expected them to at least increase their squad numbers. And the players that they've bought are basically average. Saint Maximin has gone to Saudi Arabia, and I think they've bought a player from, I don't know if it's Leeds or where, because I expected them incomings to be world class talents because they're playing in the Champions League, and I haven't seen that. So yeah, it's true. They might struggle if they don't make any more additions to their squad, and in addition to playing the Champions League, they might struggle with a
So
leaner squad.
yeah, that's true. So my number one is, I know it's so shameful to say it, is Manchester City. Number two, Arsenal. Number three, Liverpool. Number four, Manchester United. Number five, Chelsea. And then number six, maybe Newcastle or Aston Villa or Brighton. So
Now to
James,
Bravo.
Yes. Okay. I hear you
I
guys
hope
not.
you've recorded this session. We'll replay it back when the season ends.
I like the way you guys are thwarting us from the top four. I again repeat the same sentiments. I hope you're
New
recording this.
squad, new squad, inexperienced players in the Premier League.
I again ask the same question. Did you watch our preseason? Actually, by end of the season and before even the preseason, I never counted ourselves even to be in the top six. But I really watched our preseason, and my whole perception on our Chelsea squad really changed about everything.
that's why I
And
put you
Okay.
number six now.
so for me, obvious, City are going to be the champions. There's no doubt about that. There's nobody who has a better squad than what Pep has in terms of the squad itself and the coach himself. Because what Pep has is, I call it an army of fully fit players who are at their peak levels in terms of play. Then when you look at Pep squad, the only challenge he has is to keep KDB fit. That is only because you've seen from last season, I really had issues with fitness. And the moment you have KDB in the squad, everything changes. That is what you saw when he came in today. That is when you saw KDB moving things and doing his passes. You see how he did an attack that you were almost canceling, but he had to complete the pace up with just a header to complete ball back to Palmer. And why I also figure them out, it's because you see he has almost a backup in every position. Then you see he's having a young guy like Palmer who is there full of confidence. He did two serious shots in the few 30 minutes that he came on board. And
He scored
I
one.
then yes, two shots and scored one. And then I always believe that the league is won by not how many goals you score, but by the defense squad that you have. What you see Pep has done, like his defense is complete 100%. Very good. That is why I always give him. Like I don't think there's anybody who can challenge that title. Then in number two, three, four, spoiled of options because I cannot really give two, three, four in terms of exact position, but I'll give you three teams that are going to compete in the number two, three, four. The reason why I'm saying that is because these three teams, it's all about fitness of the active players, whereby you find that each club is having a player whom they rely on. And if you find that player is not fit or no fitness or is having injuries or not available, then you find they can't compete. A very good example of Arsenal and and Party. I always say Arsenal is Party and Party is Arsenal. Without Party, Arsenal cannot compete for 2-3-4. So in terms of 2-3-4, I have a list of United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. So I have three things which are three factors: fitness, an example of Arsenal, and Party, as I just said. Then if we come to United, there are two things: Casemiro fitness. I don't know what happened. In fact, even in today's friendly, he never featured. I don't know if he's having an injury or something. Because the key thing that 10 did to the squad to bring back Man United is the key midfield. That is Casemiro and Eriksen. That is what he did. So the fitness of these two guys is what defines United's chances for next season. Then for Chelsea, it's Caicedo. If we land on Caicedo, we are back to uh, challenge the top four. Then the other item is UCL matches where I have Arsenal and United competing in UCL matches. UCL is not like Europa sometimes that you really don't have to do your first squad. So UCL is very competitive, facing premier clubs of each country. So it's very demanding. There are a lot of travels involved. So it's also a very big factor on how you manage your squad depth. Where I have a problem with Arsenal and United in terms of their squad. Unlike Man City, who can rotate, even us who play in fantasy, it's very hard to play Man City players because you don't know whom Pep is going to play because he has a squad depth which is very good. And it's the same reason that made Arsenal drop the league last season because of a squad depth. You cannot rely on Saka to play all 38 games and you expect him to deliver. You have to have a Trossard who is a backup to him. When he has fatigue or he doesn't have fitness, you call upon your backup, and the backup will solve your problems. And lastly, the other factor is on the transfer. United, you have to get a striker. Without a striker, you cannot even compete for the top four because all you are relying on is the fitness of Rashford. He's your all-time always goal scorer because the other two guys whom you are having, they're not reliable in terms of they don't know where the net is. So unless you get a striker, then I give you a top two, three, four. Uh, then on the transfers, the same case for Chelsea. It's all about Caicedo. If we land on Caicedo. On Arsenal, I still believe you also don't have a full striker because you're relying on Jesus, who is already injured. I think he may not be fit to start the league. Maybe he'll come on maybe to September. I like Nketiah, but I find your manager and
No, no, no.
players
You can have him back because he came from your academy. You can buy him.
because to be honest, if you realize when you had an injury for Jesus last season,
Yeah.
Nketiah delivered a goal in every game he played. I think he played for 4 or 5 matches, and I think he scored or assisted in each of every game in those matches. And when
Actually, he
Jesus
scored six
came,
goals.
yes, when Jesus came back in, that is when the desire again happened. And I like Nketiah. You may not see his contribution in the game, but he knows to get the target. And that is all what I always say about a striker. Number one role of a striker is to score goals. So that is symbol for 2-3-4. So it is United slash Arsenal slash Chelsea. Then 5-6-7, it's Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Liverpool. And it all depends on performance in UCL for Newcastle. The same way you said, it's very hard for a new team coming competing for top four. It's very hard for them to repeat the same case. Aston Villa, your former coach is doing perfect job. If you saw the highlights of their game with Brentford, man, that guy has built a very nice squad. I really admire. I really wished he was in the market. We could have taken him in replacement of. He
But,
stands better chance than Pochettino.
oh,
I really
really?
love. Yes, yes, yes. He's such a nice. Actually, you guys never gave him enough time.
No, it's not. It's
He,
not about time. It's about even the backing. He was not backed at all.
yes, he's a fantastic manager whom I love so much. So, and Liverpool, I have ish in terms of their squad. They're really even the transfer business they've done. It's not quite on depth, and replacement of their midfield in terms of Fabinho and the former English captain. It's something that they have not done well, and I don't believe they are really even number 5, 6, maybe 7 there. So that is my list.
Well, do you have any question, Gilbert, for James?
I think he's given me a different perspective of Chelsea, so I'm interested to see how. I think when the season starts, I'll start watching some Chelsea games and see.
Please do.
He's given me he's given me an impetus to at least watch them because a lot of us have written them off, but he's saying that the new acquisitions are proving a lot of people wrong in terms of how they are working as a unit. So it will be an interesting league.
All right.
Yeah.
As always, thank you guys for coming on. I wish we can do this more often. Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
before your parting shot, is Gilbert in our fantasy? Do you play fantasy?
No, this
No,
guy
I've
does not.
never.
He doesn't play
Hey
fantasy.
man, kindly come on board. Come on board and enjoy the time of fantasy,
uh,
and it will make you not only watch Chelsea game, but it will make you watch all the 20
Yeah, you
clubs
can.
games.
You find yourself
You
just watching every game,
you have
even
to
though your
watch every
team.
okay.
game because you
Yeah.
have a player there in your fantasy game, so you really want to see how he performs. So welcome to fantasy.
But fantasy is very addictive. You can imagine me celebrating Chelsea scoring because my player. I have a player there. I know, and eventually Chelsea go on and finish above Arsenal, and I get sad. So it's another something that you have to know. It's
I'll
gonna.
I'll I'll consider it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys for coming on, and I hope we can do this one more time, or as always we have done. Challenge of time zones and scheduling, getting people. It's always been a challenge, but we try as much as possible. To have a chat like this, maybe some other time. Thanks for your time. I'll be able to talk to you very very soon, and have a good night.
Okay. Good night, man.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.